Yo, people always ask me what kind of frames I'm rocking. I've been rocking Caddis for a couple years. They make amazing progressive readers, which I wear. Also, they make sunglass readers, anti-glare, anti-smudge coating, anti-scratch, and anti-aging. That's why I look mad young when I wear them. I'm just kidding. But they make amazing frames. Caddis, so stoked to have you guys part of the podcast. You can go to caddislife.com/Toby10 and get $10 off your first purchase. Stoked. Thank you, Caddis. Welcome to the fam. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. They have now blessed me with my own code. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst, stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives. Yeah, check. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Once again, I got my brother from another mother, Mr. Derek Green, by my right side.
What's up?
Back from his trip in Europe. Mr. Derek Green Sepultura, thanks for being here again.
Thanks for having me.
I guess I'm going to start calling you co-host, even though you're my friend. You've been here
we're friends too.
I know, but you've been here through the pandemic with me. We're usually on tour, usually far away in Brazil.
Yep.
This whole band's in Brazil except for him. It's crazy.
Brazil.
And today we got a very special guest. I met this dude many, many years ago. So psyched that you're here. We can catch up. Mr. Manny Santiago.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here, bro.
And
thank you, Tim Millhouse, for reconnecting us. Shout out to Tim Millhouse. We love you, brother. You're the best. Yeah.
He is the man.
So how are you, man? Good to see you, man.
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. It's good to see you again. It's nice to meet you.
Man.
I feel like, we're here, PMA all day.
Hell yes, sir. You're looking good, too, man. I haven't seen you in a long time, man.
Yes.
But I've been watching you online, everything you're doing and stuff. Obviously, I did my deep dive in you. I love when I think I know something about somebody. Then I check and you
then you check my closet. You're like, he doesn't wear red anymore.
This is your life.
What's incredible from the jump is that you were born in Puerto Rico.
Rico.
But then you moved to Lowell, Mass, which I know because I'm born in Massachusetts. How did that happen? Why did that happen?
All right, so I was born in Puerto Rico, beautiful island.
Beautiful there.
And then around 4 years old, almost 5, my mom decided to move to Lowell because that's where my dad was living at the time. I had this is new information. This just in.
23andMe?
I found out not too long ago from my mom. We had like a heart-to-heart sit down, talk about my dad and stuff. And my dad was in my life for a very long time. Not so much anymore, but she had told me that the first 4 years of my actual life, he was never in the picture. So I always thought he was always in the picture.
Wow.
So when my mom got pregnant with me, by that time they were already split up and my dad left to Lowell for work.
Okay.
And then my dad never came back. So it's my older sister and me and my mom in the projects and next to my grandma's.
Was your dad born in Puerto Rico?
Yes, my whole family is from Puerto Rico, from the same area. And so
is it how do you say
Calle?
Calle.
Yeah. So then my dad's godson died and he came back to PR to bury him, to help bury him. And at that time my dad's side of the family loves my mom, so my mom would always go to everything. So my mom knew the kid, so she went to the funeral, and my dad was there, and they saw each other for the first time since he left. And, my dad was, like, super sad because, his godson had just died. And my mom was like, oh, that's pretty funny because not too long ago, someone just shot up our apartment in the projects looking for her brother because he used to sell drugs. And if she didn't hide us in the tub, we would be dead because the bullets, it's just concrete, so the bullets were just going right through. And then my dad felt guilty because his godson just died.
Wow.
And told her, like, okay, you guys are moving to Lowell, and we're going to start over, and we're going to start our family. So I just found that out not too long ago.
What was his job out there in Lowell, Mass?
He does, like, fabricating. For a while, he worked at, like, a wood furniture fabrication.
Yeah.
Now he works with computer parts, like fabricating, like for the computers and stuff like that.
And wasn't the neighborhood kind of rough? You grew up in Lowell as well?
Yeah, super rough.
You don't think about that when you think about Massachusetts.
Yeah, I never think about that.
Like gangs and stuff, right?
Yeah, no, it's super bad. when we got there, it was like pretty much you guys seen The Fighter, right? With
Yeah.
so,
Right.
So pretty much, what you saw was exactly the time, pretty much, and how it was when I got there, because I got there in 1990.
Oh yeah.
So around that time, there was a lot of prostitution, a lot of drugs, a lot of meth, a lot of just like crazy stuff happening. But as I got older, it became more gang related, because now a lot of Spanish, Black, and Asian people were moving to Lowell and kind of like housing there. And with that was all the Asian gangs started, which like TRG, like Grey Rag, Blue Rag, the Bloods, and then other gangs started, like Asian Kids, Asian Boys, and all in one town.
Wow.
And then all the African American people started Dynasty, which was like a black gang. And then all the Puerto Ricans, you have Latin Kings that were there. And so I grew up in the midst of all that. And I remember I was in New York one time at Union Square, like when I was skating. And I met this kid. He's like, "Oh, where you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Lowell." And he's like, "Lowell, Mass?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's crazy, bro. That place is nuts. I would never go there." And this dude lives in New York.
Yeah, I never heard that about Massachusetts.
Yeah, never heard that
Obviously,
either.
I know that movie. I know that town where they.
Why do you think all those gangs came together there? Did they feel like
it just natural? Like you put a bunch of people in one town, minorities who stick to their culture,
right?
And then within like feeling, wanting to feel safe in that family environment, you create a posse. Then that posse gets older, and then you protect each other, and then that turns into a gang. Because over time, then it's like money, then it's like drugs, then it's like how to flip this, how to flip that, how to control these areas. And then I remember there was like certain streets that you just couldn't go down. Like I would go on the way to the skate park, and I knew, okay, I can't go down this street, even if it's just to cut over to go to the skate park, I couldn't, because just in case.
That's some LA shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was funny because you see stuff here, and in movies, right? Or you see stuff in movies that happens here in New York, but there were things were actually happening in Lowell. Like there was like literally like a 60-person like gang war inside the movie theaters where people were getting stabbed in the movie theater, like stuff like that. And you're like, whoa, like my homie's getting chased in the wintertime because he was purposely going through where he shouldn't be, and getting chased down, hitting a snowbank, like samurai sword through the window, through his seat, almost got him in the throat, had to ditch his car, lost his car, found his car like all that. I grew up around that, and
that's fucking insane.
And I had to avoid that because I was friends with a lot of people. So, and then I started skating, so I separated myself from everyone.
Okay.
And then the problem was, though, I was the connecting piece. So if someone saw me and someone saw me, then they'd be like, "Why are you hanging out with them?" And I'm like, "I'm not. I'm just skating. I just saw them at the car wash because the car wash was next to the skate park where everybody went to hang out."
Wow. Yeah, you're friends with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just trying to skate.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't like the idea of hate or having enemies or disliking people. Or I mean, obviously that's inevitable. Like there's people I do dislike because of things they've done, but I don't truly hate anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Because hate is kind of a very...
It's pretty strong.
So, so... Fuck, man. So you got this...
I'm just like samurai sword is
like
like
always crazy, like man. It's like a movie,
Who
bro.
chooses a samurai sword?
Some
in
shit.
this I mean, that's like I hear that all the time. Though.
For real.
I'm like,
it was
that's
bad.
a weapon of choice.
Bad.
I mean,
it's fucking crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, like a long ass sword. Like picture like you hit a snowbank, and you're like, I'm stuck in my car. You're trying to reverse. You're in the snow. You're trying to reverse out of the snowbank, and then they catch up to your car. Then they break your window, and you can't move. So the first thing you do is still try to reverse the car, and they're trying to stab you through the front door.
Samurai sword.
Yeah, like straight, like picture like it missing, like it going right, woofing through your head, like.
Yo,
yeah,
that's some Wu-Tang shit.
Yeah.
That's some.
Then he
some
just
fantasy.
Yeah.
Shit.
Then he just
crazy.
kicked the door open. Dude fell. He got out of his car and just started running.
And that's in the snow too.
In the
yeah,
snow.
in the snow.
Yeah,
dude. All right, so fuck, man.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you started skating? Because that had to happen young for you, right?
Yeah.
Like, what was your exposure to
actually,
that?
I started when I was almost 15 years old.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So towards the end of my freshman year of high school. So I started like later.
Yeah.
So I went to like a boys and girls club from 9 till like I want to say like 16.
Mm-hmm.
But throughout that, I was always into like house music and dancing and all types of sports. And so my freshman year of high school was cool because I was like, wallabies and like polos and then like some fitteds and all that stuff. And then my sophomore year, I came back and had like etnies on and like
big ass shoes,
like my Echo clothes. Like I was just like, my hair was like grown now. I didn't have a haircut. I didn't care.
Damn.
Like, I did because I realized it was like I was trying to portray something to fit in, and when I finally found my voice, I didn't care what anybody said or saw me as because I just wanted to skate.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went from like pretty boy Manny to skater to white boy Manny, literally.
Wow.
Like that's what people be like, oh, it's white boy Manny.
You know, it'd be a good name of a doc for you. Would be Wallabies.
Wallabies
to Etnies.
Wallabies.
That's hard, bro. That's that Wu-Tang shit. The Wallabies.
But
Yeah.
but white boy Manny, why white?
Because where I grew up, nobody skateboarded, and I was
And that was like a white boy thing.
it was a super white boy thing. Early,
yeah, back then.
Yeah.
No,
it was.
Yeah.
You
It's
saw that in
true.
Ohio,
No,
too.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
no
like for
doubt.
instance, like if you were by the time I was a teenager, like if you were white in Lowell, you were the minority.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So it was a big change.
Yeah, it was huge. Especially like I'm Puerto Rican, and like there was no Puerto Rican skaters. I didn't know one Puerto Rican skater who like skated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't know a professional Puerto Rican. There was no that was never a thing.
Sure.
Wow,
know?
man.
So for me, it was like a culture change. Also, like in my household, at family parties, like, you know, I purposely, yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
So it was like people always kind of looked at you like, oh, you're off, but it's like it's not that you're off, it's that you're finally free. You know, you found the key to the lock way early in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a skate park by that spot, by the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah, right next to the Boys and Girls Club,
nice.
there was a Roberto Clemente skate park, but it was that part was Chinatown of Lowell in a sense. So I never put two and two together until I went back to film like this echo documentary of like where I grew up, and when I've been walking into this park my whole entire childhood, and where it says Roberto Clemente, even knowing the name, but I just knew it as Clemente Skate Park. We never read the headstone, and nobody ever said Roberto Clemente. It just said Clemente, so we called it Clemente Skate Park. And then when I go back to show the park, and I'm like, yeah, and I read the headstone for the first time and see like the photo on it, it's Roberto Clemente, who's like the most legendary Puerto Rican athlete of all time.
Yeah.
So I grew up.
You knew that?
I fell in love with skateboarding at his park.
Holy shit,
Which
man.
like I get the goosebumps
I mean,
right
see,
now.
Yeah.
that's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
He's incredible. It was baseball.
Baseball, yeah.
He was
Yeah,
like
I'm
the
not a
top.
sports guy. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna ask. Did you ever play any
No.
sport? No sports. Just okay.
I played sports. I played everything except baseball. I played I played basketball, floor hockey. I've done every sport. I just never baseball to me just never gravitated towards like what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
I like fast paced stuff.
Right.
So floor hockey, right? Basketball, flag football, where it's like fast paced movement.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, not to take away from baseball. I just was
Right.
never into like, you know, my ADHD-ness of like life.
Dude, that shit's
that's
meant to
cool.
be that there's all this
it's meant to
chaos
be.
in your life, and then there's a skate park, and it's named after this guy.
Yeah.
It's
Roberto
fucking
Clemente.
crazy. That shit's fate, bro. That's crazy, man.
That's what I'm saying. I started to like, you know, I started to find the pieces and go, wow, this is kind of nuts.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
So you saw that park and you thought, I'm gonna try to skate. It wasn't one person that's like, you should skate with me or nothing.
No. I had a couple friends who already skated in school because I was friends with everyone.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, even I was friends with the punk kids. I was friends with everyone. I just like people.
Yeah.
And so one day I was like, I'd already been to a bunch of the skate parks, just not to skate. I just go with my friends on rollerblades and kind of mess around. And I remember one day I was just leaving the skate park, going to my friend's house, and for some reason there was a bunch of kids at the park that day.
Go ahead. Rude co-host, man. Derek Green, Amateur Night, the Apollo.
Yeah,
MyFirstPodcast.com. Let this guy have his moment. He's telling us a story, you fuck. Derek's fired. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry about that. That's Chewy. Chewbacca.
Okay, go.
I was going to my friend's house and I saw a bunch of kids having fun that day. And when I look over, it was a bunch of Asian kids, Asian kids skating at the park, and they were having the best time ever. And I'm like, it kind of caught my attention. I'm like, how are they having so much fun? Because I like to have a lot of fun. So I'm like, I want to know why this is so much fun. And so I go over to the fence and I'm like doing the whole like holding onto the fence, looking through the fence, watching them have a good time. And eventually, like, you know, one of them fell, and you know, I asked them like, hey, like, could I try? And they were like, yeah, of course. And they gave me the board and they started laughing, and I'm like, well, what the hell are they laughing? And then I go to like kind of stand on it and I eat shit, and then they're laughing, but they're like in a nice way.
Yeah.
Right.
And I keep trying and I fall and I keep trying, and finally I get like ride a little bit. And then after like, it was like 20 minutes, give or take, half an hour of like trying to ride this skateboard. And I said, thank you. And I left. And you know, the walk from the boys club to my friend's house was like not even 200 yards. So I only had like 3 minutes to process what just happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like walking, and as I'm walking that whole time, I was like, wow, for those 20 minutes, my mind was silent. And
Shut the world off.
yeah, and it was really hard to try. So
Yeah.
I was like, man, I want to try that again. And I realized that when I would skate, I was present, and I wasn't doing it for anyone but for me in that moment.
Love that.
Right?
It's incredible.
And then I
Right.
realized that I didn't need no one to skate. I could just skate
True.
on my own if I needed to skate. And when I realized that skateboarding became my oasis from reality, that's when I was hooked.
Wow.
I dropped
man.
everything like instantly.
Wow.
Hit my friends up that I did know that skated.
Right.
You know, Matt Coach, shout out Matt Coach, and a bunch of my friends from Lowell.
Yeah.
And they got a board together for me. And that was it. I literally slowly stopped going to the Boys and Girls Club, stopped hanging out with my old friends, and not by choice, but because I was free.
Yeah.
You know, and I would tell them, like, hey, I'm going to skate, you know, if you want. They're like, I'm just going to go play basketball, you know, go to the Boys Club.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I was like, all right, this is it. And then it just
Damn.
became like, I realized, I don't need a car. I could skate everywhere. I could bring my board everywhere. And, like, it's something so unknown to me that it, like, pulled me in.
That's
It's
amazing.
a huge revelation.
Yeah, bro.
Man.
What was the board they bought? You remember your first board?
So the first board that got given to me was a green Shove-It hand-me-down, no graphic, with
Wow.
going trucks and see-through green gel wheels. And then after that, I remember going to, it's called Larry's Comics. I'm pretty sure it's closed in Lowell, but it was like a very famous place for like cards, comics,
Yeah.
Yeah.
skateboards, pogs, all those, any kind of game. They used to have like Pokemon tournaments, Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, all that
Damn.
stuff. And I remember I was in there, and I was so for some reason, because I'm not a big fan of darkness or what is like the devil, right? But they had this Toy Machine Red Cat Devil board,
Ooh,
which
okay.
was a simple graphic, yellow with the red devil, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and it's a Toy Machine, and I knew nothing about the brand. I didn't know nothing about Ed Templeton. I didn't know nothing. I was just like that. Those colors were calling my name, which is kind of funny now that I think about it. I never realized this. It was a yellow background, right, with the red devil, the devil graphic, and my house that I bought and I painted yellow with red.
Wow. Oh, shit.
I just realized that now. Like I painted
Wow.
the whole house yellow, and then where the door is, around where the door is, that front of the house is
Your
red.
house now?
Yeah.
Wow.
I never
That's
realized
fucking
that.
crazy
just
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what.
Those are my colors. And then I always wore red, and
Mhm.
so I just put two and two together. So that was my first board. And actually, it was just funny. My first pair of actual skate shoes that I bought were Etnies.
They were.
Yes.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
So now what grade you are? Like how old are you at this point? 15.
I
you
was
said?
15, give or take. Yeah, I was 15 because I turned 15 and became a sophomore. So I started skating like not even 14. It was like 2 months before me being 15.
Yeah.
Which in skateboarding to where I'm at in my career is like pretty unheard of to accomplish, and then come from Lowell, Mass, and be Puerto Rican. Like I had all these things that kind of didn't make sense to why I was pursuing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it made sense to me. It always
So-
made sense.
So then just your goals at that point is just keep skating. Did you have any goals
Yeah.
what you're gonna graduate and do or anything?
Yeah,
or?
of course. I mean, and then because I was skating, actually no, I actually ended up liking. So I went to a trade school, to a trade high school, a vocational school, and my freshman year I got to take. I was like, okay, I'm for sure gonna be in auto body, but I'm gonna take like every other class just for fun. The machine shop, welding, just to try it out.
It's awesome.
And because all the Puerto Ricans in my school were in auto body, so.
Okay.
It was just like a thing. And, I took the class and I liked it. But then when I went into welding, at first I took machine shop, and I became like fascinated by the idea that you can create anything out of metal with a machine, with a spool, and then you like grind it down, and
Yeah.
then you can create all types of pieces for computers and stuff. And then I was like, all right, let me try welding. And then when I realized that I can make anything myself out of metal, that's when it was like the same feeling I felt when I skated.
Okay.
Like when I had the shop weeks. Or the shop days, those days I felt like I was in class for an hour, and it was like 6 hours.
Wow.
So that's when I was like, bro.
Making trucks at all? No.
No, but I made a bunch of stuff after when I took the class. And then I started skating, which is funny because they go hand in hand.
Yeah, totally.
Right? When I picked the class and I started skating, it was just like, it was all my faith. I was like, whoa. And a bunch of the kids, I was the only Puerto Rican in the welding class, and a lot of the kids were like super heavy metal and like Slipknot and
Right.
Yeah.
all that stuff and Insane Clown Posse and
ICP.
yeah, a bunch of different bands. And there was a very unfamiliar world for me because although I had a lot of friends, I didn't hang out with that crowd.
Yeah.
Right.
So I got to make friends with a different crowd in school, and then I started skating, which I made flat bars for the skate park and would bring them home on the bus.
Oh wow, that's fucking sick.
yeah.
Nice.
Were you listening to Slipknot and ICP? Would you check it out?
No. At that time, like how I always thought I only would do things culturally and where I was from. Then my mind wasn't that open yet. Where like now I listen to like
Everything.
from like old hip hop to Charles Daniels Band to Nako and Medicine for the People to like my
It's awesome.
like 311 like just to, like my mind is like my library of music
Yeah.
is like
Mm-hmm.
it's insane.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
back then, it's like, yeah, I know what you're
Back
saying.
then it was just like
Yeah.
Aaliyah, Ja Rule, Eminem, whatever was on 94.5
Ja
Jam
On the
Rule,
radio,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, so do you get sponsored?
Murder.
So what year did you graduate high school? What year would that be?
I graduated 2001.
Wow.
No, wait. I went no lies. I graduated 2004.
2004. Okay. Damn, we're old.
We're
Did you start? So when you graduated, were you working a job? Did you start competing when you graduated? Or was that later on?
Well, I started competing around like a little bit of my senior year of high school,
Okay.
Okay.
and it wasn't nothing serious. It was just like local contests and stuff.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was my best friend was Dave Baczynski, but that's was my best friend at the time. And he was like the best one in our town and pretty good in Massachusetts in general.
Okay.
So whenever for like flow contests, which are not like amateur contests, but they call them amateur, but they're not really amateur. It's just like kids who get shop flow that have the potential. Local contest, the open division. Then we would always like fight for second because he would always win. So I was my right hand man was so good that it was like we were like Batman and Robin.
Wow.
So then we started traveling and like going to contests. But I already had like, I had to make a decision because I was graduating high school and I had a full-time, my senior year I had a full-time job welding for my co-op week. So my co-op week I would show up to work and then my academic week I would go to class.
Okay.
Because they prepare you for like life, right?
Yeah.
To get a job.
Yeah.
And then I remember I graduated, had a girlfriend at the time. So I was like skating, girlfriend, working. And I would skate during break at work. Like I would eat my food real fast, and I have like 20 minutes to skate outside.
Yeah.
And all the old dudes would just shit. They'd just be eating outside. I would be like watching me kickflip like the sewer cap and like 180 and pop show,
Sick.
which is rad.
You did mostly street, right?
Yeah, street.
No
And
rent, no half pipes, none of that stuff.
Not really. A mini ramp maybe because we had it at the skate park, but I was more like a street skater, stairs, rails, ledges, and stuff. And then I had to make a decision though after that. So I worked full time for like 6 months, and then I was like, I got to make like a real life decision here. Like, my mom was like, all right, like, what are you gonna do? Like,
She's supportive.
my mom was since day one. There's my mom only one time in my whole life told me, only one time she sat me down and said, it was shortly after that because I broke up with my girlfriend, skated every day, and then just kind of slept out at Dave's house or my house and kind of just skated and filmed. We would just wake up, go to the skate park, hang out, go street skating, come home, wake up, go to the skate park. And I remember my mom at the time, I think I was like shy of 20. She like sat me down and was like, hey, like, I was just thinking, because I was a good kid. I didn't get in trouble. I didn't do nothing. I was always home on time if I stayed at my house. I never caused her any trouble.
That's awesome.
Whatsoever. Room was always clean. I vacuumed my room every single day.
Nice.
Like, made my bed, vacuumed my room every single day.
Love that.
Fold my
we talked
clothes.
about making beds.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Was she strict, or that says you just did
No,
that? You're a good kid.
She taught me at an early age. She was like, as long as you keep your room clean, then I won't like hassle you. So I was like, okay, I see how hard you work, and to maintain our family, like the last thing I could do is like make my bed. So I'd wake up. Usually I wake up, have coffee, make my bed, vacuum my room, make sure everything's in order. I'm very like.
Yeah, that's a self-respect, though. I was talking to Toby about this. I was like, how important I think that is at a young age. It may seem like it's not that important.
Yes.
But, I mean, that respect for your space.
Yes.
You know, it's your room. You don't want to.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to keep that in order. You know, it's a reflection of
you.
yourself.
Yeah, it's like your room.
Love that.
Yeah.
Your room and your room and your car, in a sense, depending how much you're in your car, is a reflection of your mind. So if your room is always neat, then you're a type of person that you know what you want in life, or you know you're structured. If your room is messy, or if you say like, oh, why am I gonna make my bed if I'm gonna sleep in it tonight, then that just shows me that like you lack discipline.
Yes, and that discipline is super important.
It takes 10 seconds to make a bed.
10 seconds, man.
Give or take. So I remember she sat me down and told me, she was like, hey, like, you know, I was thinking if you want, like, maybe you can get like a part-time job. That way you have some money. So if you want to, you know, get some food or take a girl out, like, you know, that way you can like start, you know, taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And I remember I looked at her and I said, all right, Mom, if nothing happens by the end of this year, I promise you I'll get a job.
Wow.
And then that year is when everything started happening, and then I haven't looked back.
Yeah.
But I'm not opposed to, you know, I wasn't opposed to
Right.
working. It was just, I was just having so much fun that the last thing I wanted to do is get a job.
Yeah.
But if she was to tell me like, hey, like I need you to get a job to help around the house, I'd be like, oh, without a doubt, like of course.
But you were super focused on skating.
Yeah, I just wanted to skate. I was like I was spending like literally no joke 12 hours a day just skating. Whether if I'm at the skate park just sitting or watching people skate or actually skating, like we were spending a majority of the whole day either out street skating or at the skate park. It was just consumed my life.
Yeah, your mom knew where you were. She knew you were safe. You guys, like, you weren't a bad kid. You weren't out there wilding out partying. So there was like this trust. I love that.
Yeah, no, since I was like 9 or 10, like she's always like, because I never showed her any signs of disrespect or like any signs for her to worry. So like since I was little, I used to stay out till like started to get dark out, and then I would come home. I wouldn't even call her from places. I would just show up. And you know, I always kind of kept the same respect with her, and you know, I realized how much she's done for me my whole life. So I always like want to make sure like that I'm not the one causing any friction, because my sister caused friction. She's pregnant at 16. You know, like my sister's awesome. Don't get me wrong, but she caused a lot of friction for my mom at a very young age.
Gotcha.
Like a lot.
Right.
And I was like, that is something that I don't want, because I see my mom suffer. So I don't want. Yeah, I don't want to be the one that's making her feel the way that I see her feel. So
Right.
You and your sister tight?
We were super tight. Then I left to come out here, and it's just like a very unspoken love.
Okay,
you know?
yeah.
It's not that we're not tight. It's just I'm never home enough. It's not like I barely even call my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just in my own world, in my own life. And then when I see them, it's like we pick up where we last left off. But it's when I see her, it's like smack her in the ass, give her a big hug, and just like, you know, well, how are you doing? Like, you know.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. I've always been like that. It's something I was watching. Did you guys see that Will Smith dropped that
Great.
that YouTube?
I was just telling you about it, man.
You have to
Best shape of my life.
Best shape of my
Bro.
Did you see and I think it's episode 3 towards the end when he said he has to talk about like Jaden, and he talked about I know that this is going to sound crazy to you guys, and I've been trying to put this off, but like I've worked my whole life to be where I'm at, and not anything or anyone will get in the way of that.
Yeah.
So
man.
that's exactly how I am with my life.
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny because I had to give up my son and having him every day, so I know exactly what he meant.
Wow.
And a lot of people
It's heavy.
have told me like, oh, you're messed up, or that's kind of messed up, that's your son. And I'm like, yeah, but ultimately, if I can't live my best life working and doing what I want, then I can never be a good father to him, because I will always resent him for getting in the way, and I won't be able to support him the way I can.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't never want to ever look at my son and be like, you took away like my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look at him and be like, you gave me my dreams, and now you're a part of new goals in my life. I want to look at him and
give you the best life now. Yeah.
and then give him the best life.
Yeah.
And then
that was a heavy series, man.
Yeah. So I just started watching it, but I'm like,
Oh, you haven't got to episode 6 or 7
no,
yet? Okay.
I'm on 4.
Bro, if you're a dad, you're going to get emo as fuck. It's some, you gotta watch it. It's really, it's just the honesty in his book to his children about, he did put his career first, and certain things that he missed out on them because of that. And he's reading about it in the book, and he's bawling, and they're like crying to and hugging him. And then the son's like, yo, I didn't see it like that.
Right.
You might have felt that way, but I did not feel that way. I felt your love. Like, it's the way he perceived himself during some of these big movies and not being there for them. But the kid's like, nah, you kept calling me, you brought me out there. Like, in his mind, he thinks he wasn't but he really was.
Right.
And,
And,
you know what I mean?
and I feel the same way. Like there's
Yeah.
times where I'm like, you know, when my friends have kids, and then, you know,
Yeah.
they'll be in their situation, and spouses are having their conversations, and I'm like, damn, like which one am I?
Right.
Right. And then I'm
Mhm.
like, am I in the wrong for what I'm doing? But then, like you said, when I do spend time with my son, and when we do play Fortnite, or when I go there to hang out with him, like it's all, he's just happy I'm there.
Yeah.
You know? And now he's getting older, so now he's a little bit more vocal. But
And it will be better, you know, I
Yeah.
believe, you know, as you get older. I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about because my son lives in Prague. And so it's like far,
bro.
far away. And it's like that time, you know, that we're together, though. It's just,
Magical.
you know, the happiest, you know, it's just like everything is complete, you know, is that
Yeah.
feeling of completeness. But it's hard because you have a lot of friends, like you were saying, that have their kids, you know. I'm with Toby all the time, you know, and he's with Max all the time, you know, and I'm just like, man, you know, like, am I a messed up father because, you know, I don't have that type of relationship? But it's a different relationship,
it's
you know,
different.
and I had to, you know, look at it. But I appreciate that. I learn a lot being around that. But I just know, like, when I am there, you know, I'd have to be 100%
Yeah.
present, you
if-
know.
for me, in my situation, like I got really lucky. Shout out dads out there.
Yeah.
I got really lucky in my situation because when Ocean, his name is Ocean.
Great name.
When he, you know, when his mother Michelle took him back to Oregon, which was our conversation. I said, hey, you can stay in LA
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be there as much as I can, but you don't have no friends and you might be miserable here, which will benefit me because I'll have him here. Or you can take him back to Portland, to Oregon, and he'll have a family and
Yeah.
grandparents and cousins, and
There's
you'll have
structure.
more help.
Right.
But it hurts me. One of these decisions
It's hard, man.
doesn't benefit me, but the one that doesn't benefit me benefits me because he will be happy, and that's all I care about. Because it's not about what I need or what I want; it's what he needs. And right
Mhm.
now, he was 2 years old. He doesn't need me right now.
Yeah.
He
Right.
needs his mom. He needs love. And the day that he does need me, I will realize when I have to step in. But luckily, when she went back, and not that it was the prettiest thing, because we had to overcome a lot of, you know.
I was going to
Things,
ask, like, you
yeah,
have a
like-
good relationship with her? Or?
Well, now we
Okay.
didn't for a while, and it was kind of sad. But now she, you know, a while ago she had met someone, and they started their family.
Oh,
you
okay.
know,
Okay.
And then when I went there and I got to meet him, I realized that I'm so lucky
Right, right.
because I'm like the amount of love that Nathan has for Ocean is so amazing, and he honestly loves Ocean as much as I do.
That's awesome.
And I
I
never
hear
thought
you.
that I'd be able to say that.
Oh
about
yeah,
somebody
but
else,
that
yeah.
that
Yeah.
definitely exists. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I've seen that with my girl, and it's like her stepfather is her father.
Yeah.
You know,
Like-
it's just like
It's beautiful. I
Right.
remember we had a conversation one time, which was kind of sad at the time. It killed me, but I remember like Ocean was like, you know, he was young and he just started really talking and stuff. And not many people know this, but I feel like I want to be vulnerable right now. I remember I was talking to him, and you know, I'm like, oh, who's there? And he's like, oh, you know, mommy. He said, you, mommy. Mia, which is Amaya, his sister, and then he's like, daddy. And I
Mhm.
said, what you mean, daddy? I'm daddy.
right.
And then he's
Ooh,
like,
man.
and then he was like, no, you're Manny. He's daddy. And my heart dropped.
Mm.
And
My
I
heart
was-
just got weird just hearing you say
yeah.
that, man.
And then
Fuck.
in that moment, I was like, I reacted. My ego reacted,
Right.
and because I didn't know how to digest that without getting upset.
Of course.
And I told him, I'm like, Nathan is not your dad.
Mm-hmm.
I am your father.
Mm-hmm.
That's your stepdad, or that's your mom's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like, I am your dad. And she ripped the phone from his hand and looked at me and she said, don't you ever tell him that Nathan's not his dad.
Wow.
And I said, Michelle, can you put Ocean back on the phone? I'm trying to talk to my son.
Oh, you're right.
Wow, man. That's heavy, man.
So for a while, it was like really weird. And then so we came up together with like, okay, Daddy Manny, Daddy Nathan. And then I was okay with that.
Right.
I was like, okay, as long as he's
Yeah.
realizing my role, not still realizing that I was just feeding my ego,
Right.
Yeah.
which I didn't need to do. But I just like as a man and as a father, I feel like, no, I'm his dad, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, he came from my ball sack.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's property of Manny Santiago, you know? So it's like, I was like, how you gonna do that? You're not gonna put a Toyota logo on a Tesla. It's a Tesla.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
and then, but then the more I got to know Nathan, and every time we talked, I realized like you are his father.
Wow, man.
And I'm grateful because he loves my son.
Right.
Or he loves our son.
Yeah.
So now he has 2 dope dads.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick.
And
the mom's a pro skater too, right? So
what?
No.
Oh, she's not a skater?
No, my girlfriend now is a pro skater.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. No. Michelle, she does CrossFit. She's pretty strong.
But your girl now is a pro skater. Okay.
But no,
We'll get to that later.
she's cool. But we're super rad. To
Okay.
get back to your question, when I go there, I stay at the house. I stay in Ocean's room. We hang out. We share drinks together. We share stories. We laugh. She'll hang out. We'll hang out in the living room. Like, they'll make jokes. It's just like I'm a part of the family with no emotional ties to her because they're not there. I just see her as a human being. I don't see her like as like, oh, my ex or the woman who has my child. Like, no, I see her. You're Michelle. You're Michelle Baker, and that's who you are, and you're doing well by our son.
Yeah.
There's nothing more I can ask for.
It's interesting. Earlier you said that you found out recently that your dad wasn't there from 1 to 4, correct?
Yes.
You didn't know that. You thought so even when you, like you were saying, you weren't there when your son was younger too. And he might not remember that either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was there. I would make sure I visit him a lot. I visit him.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't like I went ghost. I just said, look, you move there and I'll just come see you every 3 months and spend a couple of weeks with him and then I come back.
Yeah, but I don't remember anything from like 5.
Oh, yeah, but
like
I get what you're saying. I don't remember from 1 until like 7, give or take.
Yeah, I remember at the time.
Even that younger age, I have only like 4 or 5 memories, right?
Yeah.
I remember from like 11 and on, I remember like the back of my hand.
Yeah. You remember?
I remember a lot.
What?
Do you remember?
Up until 5 years old and shit too. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember a lot because I would just, since my dad was there all the time, I would just be so interested in what he was doing. So he had like all this stuff. He was an electrician, so he had all his whole shop downstairs.
Okay,
so that's cool.
So I'd just be like wandering and going through all this stuff and all these questions and just
shout out to the dope childhood.
Yeah. I was very lucky.
What's my dad doing? He's like a superhero.
But it was just like, I mean, he would take me on these trips with him to go to people's house to repair like TVs or radios.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I'd be sitting there
so
just
your
like
dad's
in
the man.
silence, like.
So your dad's the man.
He was a man. He was a man.
Took you to work with
him. But I was
very
lucky. Yeah. I mean, I was just like, wow. He wouldn't have to say anything. I was just there.
Yeah.
With him. So it's just like, he wasn't like the type of father that's like, yo, I love you, son. And, all the time. He grew up in, the 50s and stuff.
Yeah, it's different.
Tough love.
But as he got older, it started to come out. Like when I would see him and, and hang out, I was like, wow, relationships change with your parents and things like that. You start to realize a lot of things too as we get older. But
I only have 3 memories of my dad. One is where he stepped on a bottle on the beach and went right through his foot. He got rushed to the hospital. The second one is he built like this a horse buggy. He built it and he has 3 sons in the back and he'd be the horse and he'd go around the backyard on this like wooden horse buggy.
Right.
And the last one is where he went to the hospital and never came back. I never saw him again. Those are my not to bring this conversation down.
No.
And then he died at 33 years old. Like that's my only 3 memories of my dad.
Wow.
And maybe I don't even remember them. Maybe I've just been told them. This happened.
Maybe.
But that's like the 3. It's fucking it's crazy, man. And he's buried in Massachusetts, Taunton, Mass.
Okay. Taunton,
Mass. Yeah, you know that? You know Taunton?
Yeah. I know a lot of Mass.
Okay, not to bring the conversation down.
Wow,
Let's get back to your life. Yeah. So
my life in
the sunshine.
I like all the we have a lot of music
fuck yeah.
breakers right there.
Oh, yeah.
Break up the serious moments. Yeah. What was the first trick you landed? You remember?
Oh yeah.
I want to say that 180. Simple.
Okay.
Yeah, simple 180. Super sketchy. I was going slow. I barely was going fast. It actually took me a long time to get pretty decent at skateboarding. I'm someone that picks up something. I pick up everything pretty fast.
Okay.
But with skating was like
really,
and I think that's what drew me in even more. The fact that I couldn't conquer it so fast. Kind of. It's like Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
He thought he was gonna start skating, and then remember he put out a video and said, "In a year, I'm gonna be the best skateboarder in the world." And like it's been like 10 years, and he's still skating. Still
going to the barracks.
Yeah.
Really?
My wife works there. She tells me he's there like all night long trying one trick till like 5 a.m.
Wow.
Like I respect the fact he's still at it, man, trying.
That's
you know
cool.
what I mean?
That's cool.
So trying to learn. You ever skate with him before?
Yeah, a bunch of times.
Really?
Yeah, a bunch of times. Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
got some tricks. I seen him on
he does some stuff. He does his stuff, but it's not about what he does. It's how much fun he has.
Right.
When he's
Yeah.
skating. He'll skate
Yeah.
for like 6 hours.
That's what I'm saying, bro. He shut that shit down.
Yeah,
No
just skating,
idea.
having fun. It's not like he's doing the craziest tricks, but he's having the best time.
Yeah.
And being a part of that is so cool to see someone who is one of the
that's
best
true.
in their field,
Facts.
Right.
and then they pick up something that we do. And
Take
then
it
they-
seriously.
And take it serious. Like, he wants to skate. He wants to hang. Like, he'll leave the studio to go skate.
Yeah, and he had a half pipe on tour and stuff. One of the
Yeah.
tours he did, he had a setup whatever he went.
And he had
That's
he had a
incredible.
whole skate team that went with him too. He has a
Truck
like-
fit?
Yeah, he has truck fit. He still has a lot of those guys. Still, like, whenever he needs them, they'll drop whatever they're doing and like come hang and stuff.
Dude, when Loot Fiasco, Lil Wayne, and Skateboard P. Pharrell, and they all started bringing skateboarding into hip hop, that shit was a game. I saw it as a game changer. Even like seeing Lil Wayne wearing a famous Stars and Straps belt buckle on the cover of the Source. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like when all that shit started, like, it was a beautiful thing because
Yeah.
we grew up only having punk rock in our skate videos.
Yeah.
Like we loved hip hop, we breakdanced, but that was almost like a separate thing. You breakdance, you skateboarded, but you skate to hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
No.
saying? Then it just changed. Like
But it makes so
sound-
much
I love
sense.
it.
Like when you see it,
I
I was
know.
like, how is it never? I can't imagine not being there.
Yeah,
You know?
my girl actually skates for Ice Cream now. She just signed with
Oh,
Ice Cream, which
really?
is funny because that's Pharrell's.
that's fucking sick. I know he had a skate then. That
Yeah. So Ice Cream had a big skate team, and then Ice Cream kind of was sizzling for a bit, just on the low, and then now they just brought it back, and now they have like a full skate team.
damn.
Yeah, they got Andre Beverly from New York. They got Daniel Scales, that's from Florida, but lives out here now, and my girl just signed with them.
That's amazing,
That's
man.
incredible.
What was your first sponsor? I know you're the first Puerto Rican ever signed to Street League.
Yes.
That shit's hard. That's
Pretty
sick.
good. I'm a big fan of like I like to always like
Be the
right,
first.
the first Puerto Rican to do whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like
That's
honorary.
dope. I love
That's
it.
honorary in itself. You know, as you know, you come from a small island with so much heart and so much talent and just so much drive that to try to be the first at a lot of things being Puerto Rican is like one of my like always been like milestones for me.
So you're probably the first Puerto Rican to be sponsored in your town.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah. My first sponsor I would say like would be Pioneer's skate shop in New Hampshire. That was Dave's uncle's skate shop, Steve
Okay.
O'Hara. Yeah, so it's still up and running.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they
that's
helped me, and like I wouldn't have my what you would call my career if it wasn't for Pioneer Skate Shop.
Wow. That's cool. It's
Yeah.
still there too.
Yeah, still there. They're still doing it. It's dope. I mean, Steve's the man. So from there, they would hook us up with sponsorships through the representatives, which was the shop flow, rep flow.
Okay.
And then that's how it worked, you know. You get stuff from the shop that they would give you that they would buy.
Okay.
Then eventually when you got good enough, they would give your footage to the representative. Then if he liked it, then he picked you as like the rep flow kid, so you would represent that brand in that county. And then from there,
Interesting.
when you got good enough, the rep would send your footage to the company, and then if they liked it enough, they would put you on in-house flow. So you no longer took budget from the representative. Now the company was sending you stuff, and from there, if they saw something, they would bring you on trips and put you on the team. Now you're just on
Almost.
Instagram if they like you.
Yeah.
Right.
But the flow is just free shit, basically.
yeah,
right?
flow is just free stuff. It don't-
Not getting
it don't
paid.
mean-
You're
it
not
don't
getting
mean-
paid yet.
Yeah, it don't mean nothing. Back then, no. Even
Mhm.
back then, AMs weren't really getting paid. Now AMs get paid pretty good.
So when did you start? So you started competing and stuff and going out of Lowell, right? Stay in the East Coast area, kind of.
Yeah, for a while it was just like East Coast, and then since Dave was so good and he started to get a lot of recognition because he's winning a lot of stuff, and he was insane in the streets, it's like getting crazy clips. So then we would start traveling like to Jersey, to New York, and then to Maine, New Hampshire, and then like kind of the Northeast, and then eventually we started going down to Florida because his uncles Steve and Paul went to Florida for like vacation in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And since it snows in Mass, you know, in the wintertime it's hard to skate, and there wasn't that many parks,
Yeah.
indoor parks. So Dave went down there for 2 weeks, and then when he came back, he was like, "Yo, we're going to Florida," and I was like, He's like, "It's so dope, Jupiter, Florida, Abacoa Skate Park. I met a bunch of kids. They're super rad. They said we could stay at their house." So we got in Dave's Buick LeSable and we drove straight to Florida.
His Buick.
Buick
Buick.
LeSable.
That shit's hard.
The couch, homie. That thing was one of the best cars in the whole entire world, I'm telling you.
So then you start going down there and shit. Damn.
Yeah, so then we started going down there in the wintertime. You know, I mean, there was a bunch of contests in between that Dave
Yeah.
and I did, Beast of the East and a bunch of stuff. But that Florida became one of like the kind of like the main points of my career of like where my career blossomed after that because
Yeah.
I was skating more. I was meeting more people, and then I was going down there every year in the wintertime, and then they would come up and stay with us in the summertime at Dave's house. So then we had like skating year round. And then now
Nice.
you're
Awesome.
creating two different. At that time, there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't much stuff. So you were just, it was all word of mouth. And then a lot of people, when our footage was coming out, they're like, oh, like Manny's from Florida because he has all this Florida footage, but I'm not. I just spent so much time.
Wow.
There. Yeah. So it was cool. It was a cool journey. But then as things evolved, you know, where you're eventually you're making so much noise, getting so much footage, you know, Dave's career took off. He kickflipped El Toro, which was a 20 stair down at El Toro High School. It was like the first one in the whole world to do it. A bunch of pros, wanted to do it or tried it, couldn't do it.
Wow.
And then from his career blossoming, since I was like, his Robin in a
Yeah.
sense at the time, he would bring me to everywhere, and I got to meet everybody.
Awesome,
So
man.
from there, instead of going to Florida, I started going to California, and that's how I met Felix.
Damn. Yeah, I got Felix on here too.
Yeah.
Couple of things that you got in 2006, first place in Minneapolis at the AM contest.
Yeah, damn Am.
Damn AM.
Yeah.
And then Zoo York's AM contest in Montreal.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, we traveled a lot
Um,
in our early.
and then the best trick at the Black Box Crossroads
Yeah,
contest.
that's
first
what
place.
That's what turned me pro. Because
Wow.
I beat I beat Nyjah, I beat Sheckler, I beat Toby Puerto, I beat Chris Cole. Everyone.
Chris
but-
Cole.
I
What
beat-
up, Chris Cole?
Yeah,
Chris
shout out
Cole.
Chris
He's
Cole.
the best, dude.
No, he is the best.
Smooth.
You beat all them in that
I
shit?
beat, the only person that wasn't there was Paul.
As an amateur, you beat them.
Yeah, they were all pro.
Holy
Yeah, and
shit.
then from there, I remember. So we finished the contest, and I was like, "Whoa, I can't believe I won." Thrasher hosted it, blah blah. Jamie Thomas handed me the money. I'm like, "Oh, this is crazy, right?"
And that's the first.
Yeah. And then I remember
Life-changing.
I told Felix that night, I'm like, "Yo, so Tampa Am's coming up. Like, what's the plans?" And he's like, "Bro, you just beat all the best skateboarders in the world. Like, this is your Jordan moment. You're not skating. You're not Am. You're not Am no more. We're gonna turn you pro." And from winning that contest, I turned pro at Tampa Pro.
Nice.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like all the ducks. It's the
Right.
story. All the ducks aligned.
Yeah, and then also then moving forward, like Rookie of the Year for the Do Tour, right?
Yes, Rookie of the Year.
And then the first Puerto Rican to skater to place third in the X Games of Barcelona.
yes.
Always the first Puerto Rican and
Barcelona.
everything. It's so
First Puerto-
sick.
trying to make it. The thing is, right? It's like important because now kids go, oh, you've accomplished so much in your career and you're Puerto Rican, so I'm Puerto Rican too, or I'm Cuban, or I'm Colombian, I'm Dominican. Like, you're Latin and you're doing all this stuff and representing all of us. Like, yes, like I represent Puerto Rico. That's my heart,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I represent all of Latin community.
Yeah.
So that's the bigger reach is that, like, I want to show the world that it doesn't matter where you come from,
Mhm.
that you can accomplish what it is you want as long as you work hard enough. You can honestly, I believe that you can do whatever you want. I truly believe that.
I believe it too.
Mhm.
Like, I believe that
Yeah.
if you work hard enough and you wait long enough and you keep your head down and you do everything you need to do, whatever it is you want to accomplish, I don't care what it is, you can be it. You can be president. You can be president of the United States if you want.
Yeah, you're living proof of that. It's,
You know what I'm
it's-
saying?
Yeah.
I wanted. That's my message. I want to represent the idea that you can do what you want for as long as you want, as long
Yeah.
as you take care of
Wha-
yourself.
What was that trick that you got? Was that you beat the contest?
At the Black Box,
Yeah, what was the trick?
I ended up doing. So it was a best trick. It was a 30-minute jam,
Okay.
and there was like 40 of us, just like a
Damn.
big picture of best trick. It's like literally carcass tossing.
Okay.
So it's like a
Oh,
7
wow.
stair with like two hubbas going down, and what they ended up doing was they put a fence at the bottom of the hubba.
Okay.
So if you did certain tricks like a back tail or a back smith, the front of your board would hit. So you would have to lift your
Mm.
your board up over it.
Yeah.
So people were either skating it over the 7 stair over the gate, or they were skating the hubba. And I
Okay.
ended up doing like some close to like 20 tricks. And then flipping into
Wow.
it, grinding a bunch of stuff. And then I ended up doing a big spin blunt slide down the hubba on my last attempt.
Wow.
After someone just knocked themselves out cold.
Oh my.
So it was kind of like at
Holy
that point.
shit.
Yeah, at that point it was like, because usually at that time Chris Cole never lost that Black Box. They've hosted it a bunch of times, and what happens is like, I watched them, so I kind of realized, okay, if this goes 25 minutes, I know that Jamie is gonna come out on the mic, and per usual, best trick, do we keep it going? 5 more minutes, and then I've seen Chris Cole in those 5 minutes. It was almost like he was just like
Waiting.
he was coasting the contest, doing a bunch of good stuff, and then once Jamie said that, he's like, okay, I gotta turn it up.
Right.
So when I saw that happening, I was like, oh hell no, not this year, because I'm skating. And I just, in that
Wow.
moment, I just was rifling things left and right, like boom, 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 boom. And it was like, at that point, you couldn't like, the only person to beat Chris Cole in his house.
That's incredible, man. How old were you then?
I was, I want to say I was 23, maybe 22, 23.
Wow.
Damn.
And then when
Chris
did you?
Cole's pretty sick.
He's
Nah,
the
he-
fucking
bro.
He's
sickest,
so
bro.
Bro,
He's also
gone.
a really smart,
Yeah.
sweet fucking
mean,
human
No,
too, man.
No, Chris is literally one of the best skateboarders to ever step on a skateboard. Like he has done and could do and will
Still
continue
can.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an event next weekend.
Out here or
He's
no?
skating in it. He
Yeah.
he doesn't skate any of the events anymore.
Is it
but he
out
does-
here?
Yeah, it's gonna be at the barracks.
Oh,
Oh.
pulling up. We're going, bro.
Oh,
We're going, bro. If we're allowed to, yeah.
Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, just text me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like this new. It's a new league that is getting started in skateboarding.
Okay.
So it's called PSA.
Okay.
Yeah, Premier
Let's go.
Skateboard Association.
Not like
yeah.
MSA.
or PMA.
MSA, Manny Slays All.
Yeah, remember that? That was
I was gonna ask you if this shows. I was thinking about the skate trick. I'm going space right now.
What was it
and
like
shit.
internationally? Like, did they?
Oh, I got it,
was
got
there any like shock, like leaving the country and seeing other skaters from, around the world?
in the
or-
beginning of my career.
Yeah.
Well, meeting other Puerto Rican skaters too.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah. When I went back, that's a whole story in itself. When I went back, because I didn't grow up skating in Puerto Rico. So
Right.
as I was making it, and I started making a name for myself. I got a lot of hate from
Mhm.
my people,
What?
from my
Wow.
community, because
Man.
I wasn't raised. So when I won the bronze,
Mm.
when I won the bronze medal at X Games,
Yep.
Mhm.
I had won the select series, which is it was the rookie league. It was street league at X Games. They partnered up.
Okay.
They started a rookie league called the select series. So they would do the select series on Thursday, and it was like 10 of us that were invited, 9 of us that were invited on this that were part of the rookie league, and then the one local kid that was like super good.
Yep.
And then we went head to head. We skated, and then I won the first stop.
Okay.
And then at the end of the year, whoever had the most points in the select series the first two won a free slot into street league. It was like a contract. You won your big first contract,
Right.
G League to fucking blah 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 to street league. And I remember I won that. I won the select series stop in Brazil. That I didn't do too good. The second one was the one in Barcelona. I won the select series again, which was crazy. Won two back to
Wow.
back. Then the next day I qualified second into the finals, and then the day of finals I got third. Right, so
Wow,
I
man.
get this medal. I'm on podium. Like Instagram, 15K followers in like 3 hours. Like grew. Like
Wow.
it was like things were happening, and then I go on Facebook and I just see all this backlash, and I see my brother Fico Rodriguez. He makes music. He's also my business partner, but he's like my bro. He had posted something, was like writing to these like our own friends, like, you guys are idiots.
Like defending you on there and
Yeah,
stuff.
like
Yeah.
you guys are dumb. Like, dude, like what the heck? He's one of us, So then I have to defend myself and write some stuff. But I was fine with that. But I realized like, wow, like that I got hate. But now, even with no matter how much I've done, no matter how much I've given back, there's still those couple things. Couple people that still say things, which is funny because then in hindsight, when I look back, they even hate on themselves. People hate on
course.
themselves.
They usually are.
So
yeah.
realistically, no matter even if I grew up skating or not, that doesn't take away that I'm Puerto Rican,
No.
because I'm Puerto Rican whether I was born in Puerto Rico or the moon. That doesn't
Right.
change
Facts.
anything, right?
Yeah.
But also, what it teaches me is that you just always got to keep, those people at a distance and realize just focus on the people that love you, not the people that hate you.
100%.
Right.
Has anybody ever come up to your face from the internet and said
No.
anything to you?
No.
Exactly. We
No.
talk about this all the time.
Mhm.
It's fucking. This is real
Yeah.
life. This conversation. That is fucking bullshit. Because half those people want your attention or your autograph or a photo with you. They'll never
Yeah.
say it to your face. There's
Yeah.
always gonna be haters.
No.
But what's interesting enough, doesn't matter how good we do or you put out in the world. Even like one comment will fucking stick to you, even though it's just
Yeah.
one person from
Yeah.
a fucking private account. It's like,
Yeah,
I've
fuck
learned.
who cares,
if you
man?
let it. If you let
Yeah.
it.
If you let it,
Right.
if you let it,
Yeah, I've learned.
you learn that. I'm sure.
Yeah, I've learned to just either when someone tries to come at me crazy, I just laugh and then I just go. I just always write bye bye. And
Yeah.
I block them. I write bye and I block them. Bye bye.
Blocking's like one of the best feelings, though. That's a fucking power, bro. It
It
feels-
shows you. I don't. It just shows them that I don't care. Like I
Right.
don't care. You can write whatever you want. I don't care what you're about to tell me because I'm never gonna see it again.
You're
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What was the trick that how'd you lose your tooth? What trick was that? And he has his tooth on that chain, gold plated
my-
with a diamond
Oh,
on
Yeah,
it.
my girl has it on though.
Oh,
She-
okay,
yeah,
okay.
she has it on.
I
now,
thought you were
but
gonna wear it. Okay.
Yeah. No, I usually it's the first time I've gone without it, but So
I thought it was gonna go pow pow.
yeah. Usually I've had it this whole time, but so shout out to Instagram. I got like a jewelry deal like to post. So they paid me X, Y, and Z to post a couple chains and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, I like these couple gold chains. So then I put them on. And I was like, hey, shorty, can you wear, I'm going to take this off. She's like, oh, I'll wear it. And I'm like, that made me kind of like, oh, you want to wear my tooth around your neck? That's pretty lit. So I was like, you can rock it. And then it's in good hands. So she just has it on now.
That's
awesome,
awesome,
So
man.
that's where it is. But yeah, I was with Felix, which is funny.
Shout out to Felix.
No, shout dude. I wouldn't
Ammo.
I wouldn't be where I'm at in my life
Old school skater too.
or have what I have if it wasn't for him. He
Cool.
believed in me more than anybody. He believed in me more. He believed in me just as much or close to as I believe in myself. And that's
Wow.
saying a lot.
It's awesome.
Yeah, we were at a Damn Costa Mesa, and it was end of practice, and I was doing 3-shove nose blunt on the bump to bar. That even today, if you said, oh, I'm a 3-shove nose blunt, these kids are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No one
I don't even know what this shit is.
Yeah.
dude.
No.
It's like it's such
trying
a
to
rare
picture in my head.
trick.
Yeah, it sounds rare. Yeah.
It sounds, it is rare. And so I had done a bunch, and then at that time, the phones didn't have like the delete folder. Right, so we film one, and Felix is like, all right, lit. And then he must have done something on his phone, or maybe I think he just didn't film it good, so he deleted it. And he's like, oh, he's going to do it again because I did a bunch. And he's like, hey, like, I accidentally deleted it. You do it again. And I looked at him like, super confident, like, psh, yeah, of course. I've done like 6 today, easy.
Yeah.
And then literally a couple tries later, I was just jumping away, like bailing the trick, and my foot got stuck on the top of the rail, and it slingshotted me straight to my face on the asphalt. With because I got slingshotted, so my hands were stuck behind my back. I couldn't put my hands down.
Brutal.
Yeah, and then my tooth went flying, lip was bleeding. But it was crazy because you would think, right? Like, I literally, the amount of force that how I've hit my face on the asphalt
Yeah.
would have knocked me out or would have
Right.
broke a bunch of, like, all my teeth. I literally just sat on the curb and was like, fuck, lip was bleeding. I was like, kind of like dazed a little bit, and I was like, shit. And then I thought I destroyed all of my teeth because, like, at that point your tongue is kind of numb and you're like
Yeah.
running it along your teeth, and you're like, I feel a bunch of jagged
yeah.
edges, and I'm like, so I just broke all my teeth. So I was fine, and I got up and tried a bunch more, and then we just left. And then after that, because my tooth was chipped only, it wasn't broken, it was just chipped halfway. But then like months later,
It died.
I was playing. I was like, because it's like a new sensation in my mouth, like meaning like there's like half a tooth. So I was like playing with it and like scratching it on my fingernail, and I just pushed on it hard enough, and it broke this way. Like it broke, like the cap must have been so thin of where my tooth broke to the root that it broke in half. But and I tried to like pull it out and it wouldn't come out. So I was like, okay, this is weird. So,
fuck, man.
I didn't have insurance, and I'm like, oh, it's fine. Like, I think I'm okay. And then one night I went out with a couple of my friends, drank some wine, and the next day when I woke up, my face was like a little swollen. And then I was like, man, this feels weird, but it didn't hurt. And the next day it was even more swollen. I'm like, whoa, it feels like I have like a knot underneath my nose. But since I know nothing about that, I'm like, oh, maybe it's just like I had plucked, like, this is the funniest thing. Everybody always laughs. So I had plucked the nose hair like days prior, right? I had plucked the nose hair, and I thought that just like the pore of the nose hair just got infected. Like,
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, maybe it's just that's infected or something. And then I woke up on Friday, and I would look like, if I covered half my face, I looked like I was 300 pounds. Like,
wow.
my eye was swollen shut, black and blue. And then Felix was like, yo, I think there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think so too.
Crazy infection or something.
So then I went to sleep, and then I woke up like at 1:30, 2 in the morning, something like that, with this crazy head throbbing pain. And I was like, what the hell is this? So I hit up my friend through one of my companies that I skated for at the time, Quentin. One of the guys was like a dentist. So I hit him up like, hey, like, what's up with, what's going on? He's like, oh, I don't really know, but I'll subscribe you some Vicodin because the pain's going to be gnarly.
Yeah.
Just come in on Monday. So I'm like, all right, cool. Saturday, Sunday, it's fine. 2 days.
Fuck.
Right? I thought it was fine. And then so I go and get the Vicodin, and at that time, like, I was just so relaxed, and I don't take pills. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I've never smoked weed. So I don't, right? I don't, so I was like, okay, Vicodin. Okay. I've heard this is gnarly. So I take 2 pills, go to sleep, and then wake up every 2 hours with, like, if someone was like sludge hammering my head in. So I'd wake up in tears. 'Cause when the numbness started to go away, my body would feel the pain. And so I would wake up in tears because my body was in so much pain. I would take 2 more Vicodin, and I was like that for 24 hours. So I imagine how many Vicodin I took in 24 hours.
Oh, it's fucking a lot. Yeah, man.
Right? And they were like 500 milligrams or something. So I was just like...
Zombie, bro.
When I woke up Sunday, I literally was like, Felix, take me to the emergency room because I can't deal with the pain anymore. Like, I can't even, like... I can't. And then we went to the emergency room, and I went in there crying, and I just couldn't. I was like, bro, if there was any way I can stop this, I would.
Yeah,
And then I went to the emergency room. They were like, oh, like, it's just your tooth. You'll be fine. Go to the dentist tomorrow. They gave me 2 shots of Vicodin in my ass. Boom. And then sent me home. So I wake up on Monday, go to the dentist, and then, sorry, that story's so long. But
no, it's fine.
I got to tell you in detail.
Was it an infection?
So I go to the dentist, and, he sits me down. He feels around my face. He's like, all right, cool. I'm going to make an incision from the middle of your gum all the way back and see if it's like on the top layer. Maybe it's not your tooth. Maybe it's something else. So we try that. It's not that. So then he torches it shut. But I'm numb at this time. I'm numb.
Torches it shut.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he's like, okay, so it's your tooth. We're going to pull on your tooth. When I pull out the back part of the tooth that's broken, don't swallow whatever comes out. Let the vacuum suck it out. And I'm like, all right, chill, easy. When he pulls and yanks it out, it was like if someone if you shake a Sprite or any type of soda and then you open it, it just started splattering into my mouth, and it was all the pus that was up the root from your tooth all the way to my brain.
Holy fuck.
So
dude.
pretty much he told me if I would have waited
gnarly.
1 or 2 more days, I would have died from a brain infection.
Holy fuck. I didn't know that shit was connected like that.
Yeah, so if you have any type of tooth pain, just go to the dentist.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like,
right away.
No. I don't mess around with that.
Yeah,
You know, like that's
it's gnarly.
for real.
Yeah.
He's never had a cavity.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
I've never had a cavity,
wow.
but yeah, I'm good.
It's
shit.
it terrifies me, that story what you just told
That just
me.
gave me
now.
fucking anxiety, bro.
Yeah. I already have those dreams, where you wake in the dream,
And your teeth start falling out.
Yeah. It's just like you're kind of losing control of your life, they say, or you're feeling
That's what it means.
horrible.
gnarly,
That was
bro.
nightmare story. I mean, anytime I have like anything going on, I'm like,
Now
I'm
you
going
go.
to
Now
the
you go to the
doctor.
go to the
Go to the
dentist.
doctor.
So then
Yeah.
he pulled out So he did that, and what had happened is as soon as he did that, it felt like someone popped my face, like all the pressure.
Yeah.
I was so happy and relaxed.
Like a big zit in your mouth.
Yes,
Yes.
literally.
Happy
and,
for you,
Me
geez.
too.
and then he pulled the other piece out, and then now I have no tooth there, right? Because
Right.
your teeth are actually pretty long. It's gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Then he's
roots.
like, hey, what do you want me to do? Because it's still numb, so I can put a rod in, and then we can let it like cure, and then we can put like a
fake.
cap,
Yeah.
or I can just torch it shut. And I said,
Close
bro,
that shit.
close it, bro. I don't want to deal with this ever again. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I wouldn't wish this pain on nobody.
Bro.
I
It was
totally
so bad.
understand that. Yeah.
And then I remember I was so bummed because like afterwards, although I was very happy, the one thing, they say, you love one thing in your body, you hate one thing, blah, blah, right? So I
Mhm.
hate my feet, which is ironic because I skate.
You hate your
'cause-
feet, you
Yeah,
said.
yeah, my
feet?
dad's feet. Yeah, I just don't like I don't like my feet. But I loved my smile, right?
Ah.
And
You
then
get
so-
a good smile, yeah.
So it was like funny because like I have like a smile fetish. And when people have good smiles, I'm like, oh my God, it makes me happy. So I lose my smile, which is what I love.
Damn.
But then I called my mom and I showed her, and she told me like, she's like, you still look beautiful. It doesn't matter. Like, you're fine.
Oh, that's awesome,
So
man.
I was like, if the person who brought me into this world tells me that I'm fine, then I'm okay. I don't care what nobody thinks.
How many years ago was that since that happened?
2000 and
Oh, you have it tattooed on you?
yeah,
You got-
2010, I think.
You got a picture of your tooth on you, too?
2010.
Yeah, it says rest in peace.
What?
Holy shit, that's a big tat.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So you're
Yeah.
never going to replace it? You have no
No.
intention?
No, it's
No
done
intention.
now, right?
No intention. I think it's
That's-
2012, maybe.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
it's like your signature smile. This is
Yeah, it became
it.
a part of me. So it was funny, right? This, Felix is a marketing genius. So when the day it happened, where I chipped, and I lost my tooth, and I had to tell him, I'm like, he has to see me mope around. He's like, no, bro, this is sick. Now that could be like your trademark.
Mm.
Like, it'll be dope. They try to make me feel better, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, Felix, thanks.
Flip it
Yeah,
to a
but PMA,
positive.
PMA, right?
He did flip
But
it
it's
to
how
a
you
positive.
carry it,
And
too,
then,
you
but
know?
then it became a thing where people were like, it just became a thing where people were like, whoa, like, you know, like I'll be talking with people somewhere, and then after a while they're like, oh, you don't have a tooth, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't have a tooth the whole time. Like, but you don't hide it, and I'm like, because there's nothing to hide. I just don't have a tooth. Like, I don't care to have a tooth. Like, it doesn't affect my eating.
Right.
It doesn't affect me anywhere else. Definitely doesn't affect me in the bedroom. So why do I need to get it fixed?
Right.
So what? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
it's not like it's like
it's not affecting your life.
Yeah.
And it's how you carry yourself.
yeah,
You know,
and-
you're a pretty confident person. So.
And what's cool in hindsight, you know, is that a lot of people have reached out to me about their own issues, whether it is a tooth or anything within their physical self.
Yeah.
And they thank me, which is weird but funny and cool and loving at the same time. They go, man, because you're so nonchalant and very like confident, like you've helped me become confident.
It's awesome, man.
And I'm
That's
just
cool.
like, because there's nothing. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're gonna lose all of our teeth at one point. Sorry, but we are gonna lose.
I'm not.
Our teeth will fall out at one point.
I'm enjoying the moment.
Did you ever land that trick on video after that? Or you too fucked
Yeah.
up?
No, well, after I did that, then I actually, for a very long time, I lost it 2012, around there, yeah. No, 2010. But for a long time, up until recently, not too long ago, that trick on the same on like a bump to rail, I would always like cringe thinking of trying it. Or when I would try it, I wouldn't even try it. It was more of like I'm good. But recently I just did like a gazillion, so now I'm over it. Yeah, I'm over it.
Move past it.
Nice,
So
nice.
super past it.
Do you
I
ever
realized it was just like a moment. It just happened. It wasn't like it was the trick. It was just me. I was tired and I dragged my toe or something.
Do you have a T-shirt with your smile on it?
I've had a bunch.
Oh, I was gonna say it'd be such a dope shirt.
Yeah.
Just your face, like a cartoon of your face
you had
smiling.
that,
It was a
man.
Famous shirt.
Sorry. Famous made that?
Yeah, Famous did that. I had that on a Famous shirt, and then I had that on a caricature for Famous, and then I had it on an ammo shirt. It was one of my pro boards. Yeah.
Damn. And I have some more. Okay, so how important is to get like the perfect video clip? Was that something back then, or is that something more recent? People, I mean, it seems like it's been around for like a decade. Like
no,
getting that perfect clip for the videos.
No, that's forever.
Forever.
And even now, for a while, because of social media and stuff, and these kids that grow up skating only in skate parks and like don't skate street, it became a problem. But skateboarding is starting to demand it to be it again. Like you can't just
it's a resume.
you can't just be a good skater at the park, because I feel like a bunch of people ended up doing like big companies. I don't want to put names out there, but big companies that I actually know ended up doing a bunch of trips and bringing these like Instagram skaters out. And they were like on Instagram, like crazy tricks and like crazy views, and then took them on one trip and not one of them did anything because the streets are different.
Dude. Streets are different.
They're not, the streets are the streets. Like anybody could rap in a booth, right? But then let's have a freestyle battle in the street.
Yeah.
It's like that, you know, it's like, it's good to be good in the booth. It's good to put a song together. But then if you're in a cypher and you can't hold if you can't hold like 32 bars in a cypher, then that's kind of sad.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You know?
You dropped this thing called the 9-10-11 on your 26th birthday.
Yes.
And you shot stuff. You were shooting in Cali.
Yes.
You were shooting in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
And you shot, what was the other place you shot? There was 3 spots, wasn't it?
Just wherever I was at the time.
Salt and Pepper video part. Yeah.
Salt and Pepper. I've had
kind of Space Jam vibe, they say.
Yeah. So the Salt and Pepper 9-10-11 was like a video part that I put together at the time for myself.
For yourself.
For no companies. It was called 9-10-11 because that was my birthday that year.
Yep.
September 10th, 2011. And I was shot some in PR, but mostly here in LA. And it was just a project that I put together for skateboarding. And then after that, I ended up doing a project called Salt and Pepper with me and Dave, because Dave's white and I'm brown. So he's salt and I'm pepper.
Love that.
And then also to show like our relationship as friends at a professional level, where like the video is majority, like a lot of Dave. And then, so it's like, it would be like 60-40. But like when you eat food, you put more salt than pepper. So I had a lot of it had like a lot of like little like things like that.
That's fucking cool.
And then it just had its moments. It showed like our friendship in the clips. And
you guys getting tattooed in there and stuff?
Yeah, I tattooed his face on my leg. as a salt shaker.
That's right.
Yeah, I have his face as a caricature
As a salt
caricature salt shaker on my leg.
Damn, we gotta do that, Derek.
Yeah, you
We
guys
gotta
need
do
matching
ebony and
tats.
ivory.
Yeah,
Right. We got.
Fuck, I love
I'm
that.
gonna think about it. I'm gonna think of what it could be.
And then you did this Live and Learn Internet series too that I checked out too.
Yeah,
that was one with the tattoos in Stoner Park and all that. 6
Yeah,
episodes.
that one was fun. Yeah, that was a lot of this stuff was like before its time. Like that was like a reality skate show.
It seemed like.
And it did really well. And I mean, me and the people at the time, like at that time, that was me and Spanish Mike. We came up with that idea. He came up with the name, and then we ran with it, and then put out one season, and then we were like, oh, on to the next. We didn't think like, oh, let's continue this, or we didn't. We were just like always like wanted to create and like do things that we thought other people weren't doing.
Yeah.
And then other people started doing it, and then we just let it off. It was just like we didn't want to hold on to stuff. We just wanted to do it, and what's the next cool little project?
Yeah, then you did the Prince of Puerto Rico contest.
Yes, that's
amazing too.
Yeah, 9 years. We did 9 years in a row.
Wow.
And then COVID hit, which was supposed to be our 10th year. And then this year, still kind of COVID-ish, so we're not doing it because our 10th year, we want it to be huge. We want it to be like a festival, like skate contest,
music,
nightlife type. We want to do like a big for the 10th annual. When I got the money from Rookie of the Year for Do Tour, they paid me $5,000 for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And I took that money and I put all $5,000 into the first Prince of PR.
And
so
you fixed the skate parks, right?
We fix every time we try to do something. Either we fix a skate park or we fix a street spot, or there's always a give back.
It's awesome,
That's
man.
great.
To the community.
And then you guys added like a child division and a women's division.
Yes, yeah. We got the Coquis, which is the kids.
Yeah.
And then we got Princesa, which is princess, and then Prince, which is El Prince.
And then the pound for pound that your skate park at the Thrasher presented, that was a big one for you?
The pound for pound was the my first Echo video part. Yep, that we did with Thrasher. And then
Echo Unlimited, right?
Yes.
It's crazy. It was such a hip hop brand.
It was.
And then it started sponsoring skateboards and shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's
yeah.
true.
So Echo was, it's a big part of like the Puerto Rican community.
Yeah.
And then I remember when I started skating, I had a lot of Echo, and then they actually sponsored this contest called Beast of the East that we used to go to.
I remember that name.
So I was so hyped. And I would collect all the stickers. They would give us so many Echo stickers. So since I was already a fan of Echo, and they really weren't in skateboarding, they just sponsored skate stuff, then I was like so hyped because that was the brand I loved. So I remember at the time, this is the the law of attraction and manifestation.
You were in Echo and Wallabies, right?
Yeah.
But then Echo comes in the skateboarding.
No, but it's even cooler. As I tell Dave when they sponsor Beast of the East, I'm like, dude, how sick would it be to skate for Echo one day? I'd be so hyped. And then he told me, like, you're bugging, bro. Like, it's at the time, A, we were just kids, and B, Echo's Echo, right? And then I'm like, watch one day, Dave, I'm going to call you, right? And then, like, I want to say, like, 7 years or so go by, 7, 8, no. I want to say, no, like 10 years go by, give or take. And I'm, like, at my house, and I, boom, and I just randomly called Dave. And then I was like, hey, this was sadly after I was done with Famous.
Okay.
So I was like in renegotiation.
Yeah.
And then I got a phone call from the people at Echo, and I was like, didn't know what to do, but it was like life-changing decision. I was already at Famous for 6 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, that we didn't know what was happening with the skate program, so I was like, oh, I got to follow the signs, right? So I get the call.
It's your roots, man.
Yeah. And I called Dave, and I'm like, yeah, but I bet you won't believe the phone call I just got. And then he like guessed something random, and I'm like, nope. And his second guess was like, you got a call from Echo. And I haven't talked about it since the day we were kids.
Wow, man.
And then I was like, yep, bitch. And I hung up. So
that's fucking crazy.
Whenever he doubted me at certain things, because we were really competitive, I always look him in his eyes and I'm gonna prove you wrong.
And you did. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times. Like when we started filming, I'm known for like flipping into handrails. And I remember we came out with these videos called Thanks Camera. So the first Thanks Camera was pretty cool. It was like our first Northeast showcase video before YouTube and stuff. And then for the second one, I told Dave, I'm like, yo, I want to have a part and I'm going to flip into every grind on a rail or a hubba. And he was like, no, you're not. And I was like, all right, bet. And then when the part came out, he was like, damn, you did tell me. And I was like, I told you. Don't doubt me, bro. Do not doubt me.
So is Echo still part of skateboarding now?
They actually, because of COVID, they had to like slow the program down. And after the first year of COVID, I was still on the team. I was the only skater though the whole time.
Wow.
There was only one skater. It was just me. And then this year of COVID, they called and they were like, bro, we're trying to kind of solidify why we can keep you on. Not knowing that all these contests were gonna come up, including the Olympics, they didn't know. So they were like, they had to make a decision, and they're like, we tried to figure out how we can excuse all this money and all this stuff. And I'm like, bro, it's okay. Like, I understand. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not tripping. Like, they paid me through the first year of COVID. There was nothing happening.
Yeah.
Not at
And
all.
I was super grateful for that already. I'm like, you know, I had a bunch of merch come out. I had a shirt at JCPenney. I had the #1 selling shirt for Echo, I think, ever at JCPenney was my signature shirt.
That's fucking awesome, man.
So,
Holy shit, that's amazing. How many years you with them? Echo?
5 or 6.
So sponsors come and go throughout your career. That's how it works.
Yeah, sponsors come and go. Usually they're a lot shorter than that too. Maybe 1, 2, 3 years, if that.
And are there contracts attached?
Yes,
okay.
yes, yeah. It's always like two. The basic law of a skate contract is 2 years with 3rd year renegotiation if they want. If they want. Yeah, it's always if they want, right?
And then Skate Hop, that's yours.
You
started that.
So me and Fico, my friend I was telling you about, who makes music in Puerto Rico, super dope hip hop, like super dope freestylers.
It's a great name, yeah. Skate Hop.
So when Ocean was born, before Ocean was born, I had gone there, and I was on the beach with him. You know, beach, beautiful, clear water, beer in hand, with my friends, and then we were like, bro, we have the opportunity. That's when my career was like, my pro career was like taking off.
Yeah.
And I was like, we have the opportunity to like change stuff here and help the skate community. And he's like, I was thinking the same thing. And I was like, so let's do something. He's like, all right. So we started bouncing back forth ideas, and then we came up with the name Skate Hop because we both skate and love hip hop.
That's awesome.
So Skate Hop, and it's kind of short of Skate Shop. So
Totally.
it's funny, right?
It's
and
perfect.
then I remember I was with my son on the couch, and he just sent me like an email like, hey, this is the registration. I registered it already. And then he took care of literally everything. We wouldn't have our shop if it wasn't for him. Yeah, like you could say all you want about me, but I wouldn't have what I have on my island, which is what means to me the most, if it wasn't for him. He's a big part of my life.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It was distribution first, right? Then
yeah, distribution, and then after 3 years, we opened the shop.
And it's still there.
Yeah, the shop's still there. Survived COVID. We're killing it right now. We just released a line. So super high. And then we take money and we do small events. We fix the skate park all the time because people keep, like, they have these cars that drive through the park because our shop is across the street from the beach, and the biggest skate park in Puerto Rico is in front of our shop on the beach.
Oh, it's perfect.
So they have like these golf carts and these dudes that clean up the park, and they end up like running over like things and breaking them. So every time I go back, we always have to fix something.
There's always something there, right?
Yeah.
I used to skate with you were still with Diamond too and Grizzly and all that.
Yeah, I still skate right now. I started a board brand a while ago, and I just had like I'm at a point in my career where these next, handful of years, whatever I allow myself to want it to be, they're like vital for me, not for anyone else. So
yeah,
I stopped doing my own brand with my friend Brett. It was called Fortune Skateboards.
Yeah, here.
And I quit a majority of my sponsors that I didn't feel represented who I am right now. So I still skate for Grizzly, skate for Diamond, skate for this company called Nothing Special, which is Diego Najera and Sean Apgar. It's like an accessories company. It's like bearings, but it's like it's like a diamond.
Okay, yeah. Shout out to Nicky Diamonds too.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah, for sure. And make sure you get one of his NFTs if you haven't, because I got 3 of them.
Oh shit! Yeah, I saw he's been pushing that, man.
Yeah. It's gonna be cool because like those NFTs, the crypto dunks are dope. Cause
saw those. Yeah.
It's a key. It's not just the NFT. Like those, each individual one will give you like special invites to like events and to discounts for Diamond clothing. And like a bunch of stuff that he's gonna do on in the meta world for the metaverse, like all this stuff. It's not just an NFT. It's like it's almost like you're buying
golden ticket.
Yeah, you're buying like a VIP card.
Right.
And this VIP card will get you into places that you would never be able to go if you didn't have it.
Right.
Damn.
So that's why it's so important to just get one.
That's a great
just
idea.
hold on to
You got 3.
I got 3, yeah. Or if like what he wants people to mint them, and then you make money. So like, they'll go up in Ethereum, and then you just boom, you buy one, and then maybe So eventually they get to like 20K, and you're like, shoot, I gotta finish paying off my mortgage. Bam.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nikki Diamond.
So two things we get into this is what did you first think when you heard skateboarding was going to the Olympics? What was your opinion on it?
At that point, I was at a very weird stage in my life and my career in skateboarding. I was kind of like, well, I've done enough, and I've traveled the world, and podiumed and medals and won contests and filmed video parts and did NBDs and made all the friends I wanted, and like I was like pretty burnt.
Got you.
I was like
I've
pretty
been there.
burnt from all the contests and just like not wanting to do, like not doing as good as you wanted or just doing too much. And at that point, I was like considering kind of like
Retiring.
just taking a back seat. I feel like the word retiring in skateboarding doesn't really make sense because you're still gonna skate.
Yeah.
But you are retiring from like a contest series or like the spotlight. You're kind of going like, okay, thank you for everything. I just kind of want to be chill over here, but I'm still gonna rip just when I want to, versus when you have to.
Yeah.
It's
No
difference.
no pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Just skate. Yeah.
So
you reached all your goals. No regrets. You covered everything you wanted to cover. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good place.
So then I was like super burnt, and I'm like, all right, like I don't know. And then they announced the Olympics, and I was like, whoa. Then it kind of was like I started to think, and I'm like, skateboarding going to the Olympics. I can represent my island on the biggest competitive stage in the whole world. I can go to the Olympics for my island. And right there, it was like someone just threw like a gallon of gas in my chest. And I just started to think, okay, all right, what do I gotta do? That's when I quit everything, and I was like, okay, like this is insane. Like this is an insane opportunity to like showcase what my people can do or how far we can go. And then then I started like preparing and skating and just kind of cutting things I didn't need. And then COVID helped a lot. During COVID, it helped me a lot.
Okay.
Because all the we did some of the events, and then COVID hit, and then I was like, okay, like what's gonna happen? So what I did was I just started to focus on what I wanted to do. Since we didn't know about the Olympics, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start like working on myself, my mind, and everything.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, the Olympics they're pushed another year, so we have like a whole another year. So I'm like, oh, I can film. I've been skating so good, I can put these tricks to test.
Yeah.
And I went out and filmed a video part in 6 months, which is like
kind of unheard of.
Kind of unheard of.
Okay.
And also my whole career, if you look at it, like every video part I put out, it was just good enough, but never exactly what I wanted.
And that's how you feel about it. Yeah.
And
yeah.
that's how I feel.
Yeah.
As an artist.
Not fulfilled with it.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was always
Okay.
like just enough to keep everybody like, oh, that was dope, but not not like me going like yes, that's all I wanted to do. So what was inspiring me every morning is I would always go back to all these videos that I grew up watching, like S. Manigmati, Flip Really Sorry, Progression 7, the PJ video. So, but I always realized like a lot of the guys that I really admired so much were in California skating all these legendary spots. So I was like, what if I finally put out that one part that I loved, that I wish I could have filmed when I first came to California.
Yeah.
But the problem with that in skateboarding is a lot of those spots are either gone or they're knobbed or they're messed up or they replaced the rail or it's not the same.
Yeah.
So I was like, I started making a list of all the spots I wanted to skate, and then I started to fill in the list with tricks I know I could do at these spots that nobody's done yet.
Wow.
And then I would go to the spot and make sure that it was skatable. If not, I would fix it. I would cut the knob or the kink or whatever, or bondo it, whatever it took.
Damn.
And then I made this super heavy list, and I finished it in 6 months.
Wow.
Holy shit, that's amazing,
Yeah.
dude.
So I was able to like make a concept. A lot of my parts are concepts. So I was able to make the concept part of my dreams, which is the spots that I grew up idolizing with tricks that haven't been done. So it would be my skating at those spots.
Yeah.
Where like Costin and Paul and Appleyard and all these people have skated that I've watched over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
You know, like Hollywood, Silmar, Bundy Hubba, Hollywood Double Set, Clipper, like all these spots.
Yeah.
And you know, only like 3 or 4 clips got away that I wanted to film.
Out of all of them, yeah.
Out of all of them, which is like pretty.
Yeah, so you're just going hard doing that
for 6 months straight.
Fuck.
Like going out and getting like 3-4 clips a week.
Mm-hmm.
Type.
And so, what's the time frame between hearing the skateboarding is going to Olympics and then the Olympics actually happening? It's a long
So
time,
then,
right?
yeah. So I knew that I had till December to film, because then I knew that from January they're gonna start the second season of qualifications, right? Because I'm the male representative for the street side for the Olympic Committee. So I
Wow.
knew all the insight of
Sick.
when they were gonna start, which I had to relate to the skaters, which is what I was doing. But I was like,
Damn.
okay, we start in February, so I have until December, so then I can prepare in January for the events, because then
Yeah.
the Olympics are in July. So I put that on myself to finish that part in 6 months. I didn't have to do that,
Damn.
but it motivated me. It excited me. It was like when Dave told me I couldn't do it.
Like the challenge, yeah, for sure. Push
Because the first
yourself.
handful of times I would tell like Spanish or whoever, like, yo, I want to go to this spot and do this trick, and they were like, oh, okay. Because usually a lot of skaters, we say we want to do stuff, but then the day comes and you're like, I don't really feel like it, because you're not hyped, you're not skating in the moment.
Yeah.
But I would tell him, and then after like the third or fourth clip, he finally Spanish was on board. He realized what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
And if I told him this spot, 9 o'clock, this trick, without a doubt we were leaving with that clip. So
Damn.
I did that. I manifested the whole part.
Yeah, that's some real PMA shit right there, though.
Oh, yeah.
Your mind can't
I
conceive.
Channeled.
Yeah,
a
that's
lot of-
that's crazy. You did it all in 6 months. And what year was that?
That was this last year.
Holy shit.
So that was from July of 2020 to give or take January, but I had to take a month of that. I was in Puerto Rico, so that doesn't really count. And then we had a street league and an event at my house, which took another month away. So if you really break it down, it's less than 6 months. But if you want to look at it on the spectrum of a calendar, it's like 6 months, give or take.
Yeah. So it's like tryouts. Then
Yeah, I
it's
was
like
gonna say.
tryouts for Olympics. That's what it is. That's what you're
Break
talking
it down for us. Like,
Yeah,
what did
so they
do?
had 2 seasons. So they had the first season was I think it
Wasn't one in the rain? I saw.
Yeah,
I watched
tour.
that,
Do tour.
and I heard it was like not much time to rehearse for it. It was like all of
Yeah.
a sudden it was raining. Like
Yeah, that's the one where I I had like an amazing contest.
yeah,
In the semis, it was like one of my best runs I ever put together. But
I watched
also,
it. Yeah.
also it was like one of the best runs, like one of the best runs, like you could say, arguably that's ever been done in a contest.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
And there's that.
At 36,
yeah, bro.
talk to me nice.
And that was in the rain too.
That was right after it cleared up.
That shit was crazy.
We got to the
bro.
course, and then it started monsooning, literally, where
I
like
watched that shit.
we left in trash bags, got to the convention center. They were like, all right, contest is done. So everybody left to go eat. When it stopped raining a little bit, I went back to the hotel. And then I remember I was going up into the hotel, and one of the kids was coming down. They're like, oh, we're going to get food. I'm like, well, you better turn around because the contest just started. So, like, you have to get to the course. And they're like, oh, my God. And I'm like, I'm just kidding. So I go upstairs, and I change to go get food. And as I'm coming down, those same 2 kids are coming back. And they were like, yo, the contest is on. And I'm like, you're messing with me. And they're like, no, for real. Like, go upstairs and get changed. So I had to go upstairs and get changed, and we got to the course.
Holy shit.
And they dried it. Yeah, and they dried it and lit it up, and then we did our contest. And I was I want to say I was the second skater in, and there was like 4 heats, and usually the first heat gets judged so bad because they use you to set the scale of how everyone else is gonna do, which is sadly like bullshit. But
Yeah.
that's how it always is. They always say, well, no, it's not good, and then it always is. They always
Yeah.
underscore you because then you have 3 other heats of crazy ass skaters.
Okay.
So I did my first run, and they were like, wow, there's no way, like, that was insane. And then I did a super, like, in my next one, I did both perfect, but my second one was even crazier. And they were like, I remember I finished my run, and I come up to the deck, and everyone's, like, screaming and yelling. And then I was like, all right, guys, good luck, because I'm going to leave and get food. And then someone was like, I hope you got, like, kill it. But, like,
Right.
and they were like, bro, no one's going to top that. Like, you're bugging.
Wow, man.
Yeah, and then in hindsight, when I look back and I realize the tricks that I did, and within 45 seconds, it's pretty.
So did you know you had it at that point?
I was. This is my thing, and especially I learned this in skateboarding is like you don't know until the last skater drops in, right? But I knew, I was like, okay, I knew for sure I was gonna make finals,
Okay.
Right.
but I didn't know how severe the moment was,
Yeah.
like what I did in that moment.
Yeah.
And that solidified to me, like, okay, I still got what it takes. That helped me.
Yeah.
That helped my confidence. And then I remember I was eating dinner and watching like everybody live they had it on the TV, and I was just watching everyone just do their best run and not even close. Do their best run. It was so far that like I scored like a 88 point something, and the next highest score was a 81. So that's like me scoring like a 95 and someone scoring a 86.
Gotcha.
Like give or take. Like that's how far the margin was. So
Damn.
I was just like, wow. So everything I do believe and I do tell myself I am that.
Yeah, I love that, man.
So
then you get it. So how long did they tell you after that that you get to be in the Olympics?
So then they did 2 qualifying years, and then they took your top 2 scores from the first season, and then I believe it was your top 2 or 3 scores overall out of like the contest, and then they add those points, and there's a ranking. So for every stop, say like if you get 6th place, you get like 12,000 points. So then they only take your top 2 overall scores.
Okay.
So 12 plus they say 20, now you got 32,000. But everybody has points, so you see it like what you need and where you need to be. So yeah, like I think overall I was 13th, and they took top 20.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah.
So you have so much pressure on yourself once you know you're in there. Like,
yeah, no. I mean, once you know you're in, no, because you're like, fuck, I'm going to the Olympics. But the pressure is the couple events before it.
Do you call your mom though when you know you get in there?
Yeah, for sure,
100%.
100%.
In the fucking Olympics, bro. Like this shit
Yeah.
I did as a kid that saved my life in Lowell, Mass.
Yeah.
And now I'm in the fucking Olympics.